one of the biggest requests we get in our office is for high-speed internet. Nothing's more important for rural parts of the state than high-speed internet. It's just like the telephone used to be before people had telephones. It's the way we communicate today. Ever more important today with the virus going on and school children home, not being able to go to school, high-speed internet is imperative. We have to have it. But I want everyone to realize now the Public Service Commission does not regulate the internet. So I can't magically just wave a wand and get it to everybody. But I'm glad to say today that the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, has come up with $600 million to put in rural parts of Louisiana, 180,000 places. And we're doing our dead level best to make sure North Louisiana gets our share of this and spreading it out across North Louisiana. Nothing more important for businesses, hospitals, law offices, doctor's offices, whatever, or any kind of business, any kind of retail business has to be able to get on the internet and do business internationally now. People are doing business internationally from small towns all across America. So that is my number one priority, and it has been. I have done my dead level best to bring high-speed internet to small places since I've been elected, and it'll be my number one priority. I want to see everyone with high-speed internet in Louisiana, if at all possible. Knowing that the Public Service Commission does not regulate high-speed internet, does not regulate the internet, we work with other companies who have it to try to coordinate it to make sure that North Louisiana gets our fair share.
Tell us a little bit about the link between the poverty in North Louisiana and the potential that the internet offers.
As you know, Louisiana is the poorest state in America. If not the poorest, it's the second poorest behind New Mexico. And we need, our educational systems in Louisiana need this learning tool. It's like I said before, it is just like the telephone was early in this century. Rural places, kids that go home can't communicate with their teachers. They have to go to a central location, maybe the library, to do their work. It makes it almost impossible. So never before this pandemic has this been so important. We realize how important it is. And next fall, we hope school goes back in session in September. We don't know that now, but we hope it does. But if it doesn't go back, high-speed internet will be ever more important. So it's my number one goal, and it should be the people all on the Public Service Commission and in state government. I know the governor is very interested in it. We should be able to work together and make this happen for the state of Louisiana.
What role does the FCC play in this?
Well, they're the Federal Communication Commission, and they're the one coming up with where we get the money for this, taking it from a fund that we all pay into every year. Everybody does. So they'll make sure this money is made available for this United States program. It's just not for Louisiana. It goes all in every state in our country. But it is really putting a lot of emphasis on the rural parts of the United States, rural parts. And Louisiana, we have more than our share of rural parts of Louisiana.
And what role does the Public Service Commission play in this?
Well, what we do is that, like I say, we're working very hard to make sure this money is distributed correctly. I want to make sure that the people who need it the worst get it. And we're going to fight to make sure that Louisiana gets its fair share. As you know, when money comes from Washington, we don't always get our fair share. I'm very interested in this. Governor Edwards is very interested in it. So we're all pulling together here to make sure that Louisiana is treated correctly. Keep in mind, we need this more than other states because we're a poor state. And one way out of poverty is through communication and education. And we're at the bottom of the list when it comes to poverty in Louisiana, especially up and down the Mississippi River, especially up and down in the Delta area. Some of the poorest parts of America are up and down the Mississippi River, worse off than Appalachia. So not everybody realizes that, but that's how poor we are in the state of Louisiana, some of these rural parishes, and we desperately need help. This is a lifeline to help us get out of poverty and increase our learning skills.
What kind of response have you had from the companies that do provide internet services?
Oh, well, to be honest with you, companies, they give you good lip service. It's pretty much lip service, but companies like money. And they want to go where the population is because that's where they're going to make the most money. My problem is I represent a lot of areas that don't have a lot of money. And it's my job to make sure these people in underpopulated areas who live in poverty, many of them, are treated like the people in the urban areas of Louisiana. It's no problem to get internet for Shreveport or Bossier, Baton Rouge, or New Orleans, or Lafayette. They want to go there. They like it. Or Hammond, Louisiana, where it's growing. But to tell them to go to Shongaloo, or tell them to go to Sicily Island, or go down to Faraday, Louisiana, or go up to Lake Providence, it's a different program because there's not many people. They're going to have to spend some money to get there, and their return on their investment is not as good as it looks like in Bossier City or Shreveport or Baton Rouge. It's just that simple. So that's where I'm coming in, and I'm saying, telling them, hey, if you're going to get in this program, we're going to serve some unserved places. That reminds me of the time, you might remember this, there was one town in Louisiana that didn't have a telephone, Mink, Louisiana. It had been passed over for years and years and years. I made AT&T give those people at Mink in the middle of Coxsackie Forest in Natchitoches Parish a telephone. Never had a telephone. Made national news. So, I mean, I'm going to be doing my dead level best to make sure that the parishes of East and West Carroll Parish, Concordia Parish, Bienville Parish, up in Bastrop, Morehouse Parish, Union Parish, they get high-speed internet. And you're going to have to really work at it hard because companies don't want to go there because there's not a lot of people. They want to go where the people is, where they can make the most money. But that's what our job is, to make sure that this is spread out among the rural people of Louisiana. As far as our PSC member up here, is my number one priority. Number one priority is getting high-speed internet to the rural parts of Louisiana, all over North Louisiana. I represent 24 parishes, and that's my number one priority. So anything I can do, can get done, it's going to happen.
Well, what about the regulation of the internet and the PSC's role?
Like I say, we do not regulate the public internet. Nobody regulates them. And they're unregulated. But we work with the companies who have the high-speed internet systems, and they do answer our phone calls, and we can make recommendations. And they're very in tune to the Public Service Commission, although we don't regulate them. But we work with them and try to make sure they're fair and at a reasonable price. And the speed of this internet has to be 25 megabytes. Can't be 10 or 5. We want it to be something that's usable. Well, what I'd like to let everybody know in North Louisiana is that this is my number one priority. And I've been working on it since I've been elected to the Public Service Commission, had some success, but not as successful as I want to be. And with this new program coming out with $600 million, we're going to be able to have more locations, and hopefully sometime in the future, we're going to have universal coverage of high-speed internet in 24 parishes in North Louisiana.